Showtime, fellas. We up. Give me just a second here. Bring us up on IG as well. How you doing tonight, sir?
Hey, doing all right. Not too shabby yourself.
Appreciate you donating your time. Now, before we get started, man, full disclosure, I'm not part of the manosphere. I'm not with any different colored pills. I'm not with any movements. I'm not
They
some
kicked him out.
pickup artist. Look, I'm not a dating coach. I go as far as to say I don't have game. So you're probably wondering why I do this. That's a great question. I do have extensive experience with women. So I know firsthand most of you fellas have no idea what you're even up against. Now, when I say I don't have game, let's talk about that for a second, JC, because a lot of guys think that game has to do with women. And if I don't want to get in a little over our head or off topic tonight, but I'm here to let you fellas know that the game has nothing to do with women at all. It's about you as a man, your principles, your standards, how you communicate with yourself, how you set boundaries, and how you live your life. So, and I want you gentlemen watching this to ask yourself something. Does sleeping with a woman make you a man? The answer to that question is no. So, how can game be about women? And I got to tell you guys, when you try to chase after women and they know what you want, it makes you come across as needy, desperate, and thirsty. Now, I'm here tonight with Johnny Dumbbell, and we're going to answer a question for everybody. You want me to bring it up, Johnny, or why don't you introduce yourself for a minute?
So I'm Johnny Dumbbell. I'm a personal trainer and life coach. I'm a recovering simp myself. Remember that what we're doing here. I'm kind of like Bill's sidekick. I like to think I'm the Jimmy Kimmel to his Adam Carolla. So I mean, if you're old enough to get that one, then hey, the show's still for you. Um, but one of the reasons that we do these kinds of things is because we have made every mistake that a man by our age could make when it comes to love, romance, and relationships, dating. We've been on both ends of the shitty stick, and we know how it is to kind of deal with those kinds of issues. We also know what we probably should have done different in our own lives and experiences. And I'd be lying if I said that I didn't have. I'd be lying if I said I had a flawless dating record. I don't. Um, I'm not. One of the hardest things that you have to admit to yourself is that there might have been something that you did right or failed to do wrong. Um, we're kind of here to help you say or help you see, when you start asking those questions, ask yourself the right questions. Answer them honestly. You're only lying to yourself.
All right. Appreciate you, sir. Now, you guys got to understand, we are here to help you. We're not trying to teach you the wrong things. I don't want you guys to get the wrong impression about what we do. Now, we got a question tonight from somebody, and I'm going to read it in its entirety, and then we're going to break down the question because there's actually quite a bit to this question. So, this guy wants to know, why do women want to date dirtballs and scumbags? I'm not talking about middle who has a better car, who has a motorcycle. See, I don't want a woman that's after materialistic things. That's a big turnoff for me. So let's break this down, Johnny. First of all, let's the first sentence. Why do women want to date dirtballs and scumbags?
You
Now,
know,
Johnny, I love how you say that you're a recovering simp because I'm a bit of a recovering goon and maybe a bit of a recovering scumbag myself. So I can definitely relate to guys that get upset because their girlfriend of 2 or 3 years is bored with them and wants to talk to somebody who makes her feel excited. So we gotta
yeah,
first, I think it's important that we define what a dirtball or a scumbag is and what makes them a dirtball and a scumbag. But before we can do that, I got a question to ask this gentleman. Why do you care? Why do you care what women do? How does that affect what you have to do at all? Brother, there's only thing you need to worry about is if she's feeling you or not. And if she's not feeling you, move on and find one that is. I don't think you need to waste your time worrying about what women do, dog. That's not how men move. Now, let's get into this, Johnny, about what makes them dirtballs and scumbags. I'll let you take it first before I talk about being a scumbag.
So, okay, we're mentioning this recovering simp thing of mine. Now, when I was in my younger years, whenever I saw a guy as a dirtball or a scumbag, I felt that it was because he wasn't as good looking as I was, and he was dating a girl that I would have killed to date. And because I was this, which was had to be better than him, and he was just that, why was she dating him? The whole thing of it is that even at that age, even at that mentality, if I really felt that way, why would I not approach her myself anyway? Why would I not try to walk through that and say, hey, man, or even if it wasn't that, the point is that I made it up in my head without realizing I was making it up in my head. I'm not saying that the guys that you're saying are dirtballs or scumbags, that they're not, but I'm also saying that maybe there's a chance that part of that is simply the bad boy thing that a lot of people talk about. Okay. We see a lot of this online. We see a lot of this when it comes to dating, girls being attracted to the bad boy. The truth of the matter is that I know that a lot of that time, it does seem to be the guy with the criminal record or the guy who, has 3 baby mamas and is way the hell behind on charges, or whatever happens to be. We all know that guy's out there, and for some reason, that girl is attracted to him. Guys, she's not attracted to his shortcomings as a husband or a father. She's not attracted to his track record of unemployment. She's attracted to the fact that he doesn't give a single fuck. She's attracted to the fact that there is a masculinity about him. There is something charismatic about him. There is something that makes her biology stir. And there's something that makes her want to follow him. There's that
Well,
biology. Now, listen,
you know what?
the
You know what
problem with
that's
the problem with biology is the same problem with love, which is the same problem with war. It is fair because it's not fair.
okay. Well, I think it's important to know that there is attraction and then there's sexual attraction. And if you're
Right.
wondering why she's doing things for another dude that she wouldn't do for you, and it's probably because she's sexually attracted to them, maybe unknowingly. Okay, because I gotta tell you, is somebody who walks around, you know, all right, let me just skip past that. When it comes to physical attraction, a woman she could be into you. She could like your look or how you carry yourself, but then you got to open your mouth and talk to her. So immediately she's going to be looking to eliminate you. She's trying to tell if you're trying to get in her pants. She's trying to tell if you're uh, a real man or not, or if you're just faking the funk and pretending to be one of us and looking for an opportunity for that mask to slip. So she's going to test you. But it's important to note that there's a difference between a woman being attracted to you and a woman being sexually attracted to you. Now, part of that comes from confidence. A confident man, a dominant, assertive, masculine man who comes off very confident in how he talks to women, how he just carries himself. That's going to be a turn on. So that's where it goes into more of a sexual attraction than just a physical one. Now, if you know how to take it there and you know what you're doing, it's almost like being able to use the force, Johnny Dumbbell. Like, Luke's got to grab the lightsaber. He just looks for it and reaches out and it's in his hand. It can be like that when you know how to spot the women that are sexually attracted to you.
Yeah,
What do you
and
want
I
to
mean,
say,
in a
Johnny?
sense, you got to kind of keep in mind that, like, I'm not saying that women look at us the same way we look at your Madden character. When you're checking out his overall stats, speed 92 and catching 88. Where she might be looking at you as like resources 88, sexual attraction 54, but personality 79. The thing of it is that the virtue signalists will have you believe that there's a woman out there looking for every level of everything like that. But no, that's not necessarily the fact. I wish that were true. It's not like it's some puzzle piece that's going to fit somebody else's puzzle piece. However, this is why we work on ourselves. This is why we get those Madden stats up. And we when it comes to resources, look, women are attracted to resources. There is a chance that she could be attracted to a man for his resources and not himself. We've seen it happen. There's
Now,
also
let me stop you right there,
there's also
Johnny.
women that are not attracted at all to his resources, but she's attracted to him because, once again, the biology thing. There's a whole bunch of things. But remember
Thank
that when it comes to what she's going to actually commit to long term, remember two things. She's looking for those high Madden stats, and it's kind of important to remember that until things are solidified, it's still just your turn.
I'm glad you mentioned resources because his question, the first part of his question, is essentially why do women want to date dirtballs and scumbags? Well, what kind of resources do you think dirtballs have? What kind of resources do you think scumbags have? They don't typically have any. What they have is a woman that's sexually attracted to them. So you don't need resources. Like, okay, women women like a guy with resources, a good-looking guy with resources, but she will also deal with a good-looking guy that doesn't have resources.
Sure.
The resources don't play a part in it, or the guy wouldn't be asking why she's dealing with dirtbags and scumbags and dirtballs. So I don't think the resources play a big of a part of it as it matters. Like I said, there's a difference between physical attraction and sexual attraction. And if she's not that sexually into you, then she needs an added benefit to deal with you. Then you have to have resources if you're not that guy. But now, what makes him a dirtbag? Like that I don't understand. I would need some clarification on that part of the question. Let me get the phone lines up. If he's watching, he's welcome to call in. All right, hold on. We got a comment here. I absolutely agree, Tanya. I can't. I have no idea why these guys are worried about what women do. It makes no sense at all. It makes no bearing on who they are as a man. I absolutely agree with you.
Yep. Thanks, though. Appreciate it.
All right, give me just a second. Appreciate the comment.
Yeah.
Let me get these phone lines up.
I'm going to pray away the echo demons.
So that was my first question to him. Why do you care what women do? Mm-hmm. I don't understand how it affects you. Like,
well, I think
the only thing you need to worry about is if she's you or she's not. So this is, like when you talk about having a selection process and the rules that you need to apply towards that, you shouldn't be flexible or compromising when it comes to dealing with women. If she's not trying to do exactly what you want to do, you move on and find one that will. So,
and you got to be okay with being alone for a while in that situation too, because look, you're going to have those periods of time. You've got to be willing to be. You got to be understanding of the fact there's worse things than being alone.
All right. Now, the second part of his question is who has a better car? Who has a motorcycle? I don't want a woman that's after materialistic things. That's a big turnoff. Okay. Well, good. So I hope you don't lead with your wallet. I hope you're not trying to take women that you don't know out to dinner. You should have a plan for every woman that comes into your life. You should have a standard operating procedure on how you deal with them. And when you're meeting them online or in person, first date should always be drinks. Now, it don't have to be alcohol. She don't drink alcohol. It can be coffee. Bro, I'll rock with some hot cocoa. But I'm going to make it interesting. I'm going to make it to where she's looking forward to it. I'm going to go to a little coffee shop in my little, that's not far for me to drive to, that I enjoy being at, that's got some little local things. And I'm going to
Supporting
make
local
it
business,
sound
of course.
interesting in a, what's that? I'm going to make it sound interesting and appealing. Between that and my charm and my personality, she's going to be looking forward to coffee like she never has before in her life. But so when you say a woman who wants materialistic things is a turnoff, that tells me that you're not going after the right kind of women, or you're not dealing with them the right way. There's something that you're missing. There's a piece of the puzzle that you don't have. You may need to work on yourself a little bit, because like I said, you're worried about what women do, and the things that women do don't affect you at all. They don't affect your standards. They don't affect your principles. They don't affect your morals. They really don't even affect how you're going to spend your time. You shouldn't make yourself easily available to women. You should make them work for your time, especially women that you just meet. You got to find out if that woman's into you or not. So you kind of got to put her, to a little bit of test. You got to be demanding a little bit in the beginning to see if she can keep up with that. If she's going to go hard for you, or if she's not that into you, she's not going to do the things that you're asking her to do. She's just not. She's going to have excuses. She's going to be busy. Like I said, they're immediately looking to eliminate you for some bitch ass shit. So a lot of times when you don't know how to communicate the right way because you don't know yourself that well, they can sense that, man. Or if you have intentions, if you have any intentions at all towards women, they can sense that. Your only intention for the woman should be her time, first of all. And it should only be the time that she has agreed to spend with you. If she agrees to meet you for a drink at 7 p.m. on a Friday, and she doesn't show up, you get rid of her, man. She's not that into you. If she's 45 minutes late, I'm not even going to be there. But you need to do things at the very beginning to find out if she's really into you or she's just wasting your time. Maybe she wants attention. There's things that you need to implement in your own life. And once you have those implemented in your own life, you're not going to care what women do. You're not going to care if she shows up or not, because you're going to be going to that bar anyway for a drink. You're going to get there early, first of all. And when she shows up, she's going to show up to you enjoying yourself. I'm going to get there a little bit early. I'm going to be talking to some of the other people. The last time I went to one of the little bars in my town to meet a woman for a drink, I walk in and there are 8 other women there on some little group get together. And I had them warmed right up to me, and I had them involved in the conversation. And these women were even campaigning for me, within 20 minutes. So I love it when there's a group of women involved, man. I always turn things into my favor. But my point is that you should have a little local spot and a plan for all the women that come into your life. And if she's not trying to follow your plan, then she's not really rocking with you, and you should move on and find one that will. And once you start doing that, once you have that expectation of that, of only dealing with them on your terms, shout out to K-Zag, then you're not going to care what she does, my dude. So I think your mindset really needs to grow, and you need to focus more on you and the things that you're into, the things that you like to do, and not care so much about women. Because when you focus on yourself and you have a plan for yourself and you get rid of them if they're not down with the plan, you're not going to run into women that are into materialistic things. You're going to run into women that realize that they're only going to get your time. But when you start running behind women, when you start caring about the stuff that they do and letting it affect you, you're going to have nothing but problems, man. Johnny, I'm sorry. I'm talking too much, my dude.
Yeah, this is a classic case of where we just need to practice a little self mastery here. And by that I mean being able to be the master of your own emotions. Be the one to be able to control how you react or respond versus react to situations. Not just involving fair sex, not just involving, the dating and the business world, anything you go through. You have to get used to the idea that it is okay for you to stand up tall, use your man voice, and be assertive with what it is that you want. Now, that doesn't, I'm not saying, strongly speak to the ladies like this. Don't do that. That's bad. But what I do say is, like Bill said, pick yourself out a spot that you like to go. Don't be afraid to take the lead and be the one to say, hey, let's meet at, I don't know, BB McFluckers here at 6 o'clock. You've got a time, you've got a place, you've got a plan. And, that was something you put together. That's a very, very small example, very watered down example of taking a lead, but it is a very good first impression in doing so.
I think it's important that you got to take the lead in all things,
Yeah,
especially when it comes to
especially
planning
when they
a
impact
date.
your life. Yes.
So, and the thing is, you can't ask a woman where she wants to go, what she wants to do. You're going to make yourself boring, and some scumbag is going to come along and pull your girl, dog. So,
Well,
I don't know.
and here's and here I'm going to stop you there because the sheer difference between the two is that the scumbag doesn't ask her where she wants to go because he doesn't care, but he's taking the lead and they're going somewhere.
Yeah,
And
he's
that's just
taking her
it.
to
She
Pound
sees that
Town,
as
dog.
strong. She sees that as a lead to follow, where she's one. And believe it or not, whichever one it is, she wants you to lead. But if you're not leading anywhere, you're just standing there. You can only
Here's the
stand
thing.
around for so long.
Have you ever considered maybe she doesn't want a boyfriend? Maybe she doesn't want some dude that's going to run behind her and give her everything she wants. Maybe she just wants somebody who's going to give her something on the side that she needs and who isn't going to worry about her the rest of the week and isn't going to hear from again until she wants some more of that thing on the side.
Well, see, now that's another topic for another day. Now we're talking about going beyond, and but I mean that's a valid point. I mean, you're
I'm
talking
saying,
about you're talking about the alpha fucks versus the beta bucks. I mean, yeah, we do. I mean, that's an age
get out
old
of here with
concept.
that shit. No,
Oh
you're
yeah,
either a man or you're not. I'm telling you, it comes down to if she's sexually attracted to you or not. And they don't really date dirtballs and scumbags because dirtballs and scumbags aren't running behind women and they're just hooking up with them, dog. And they don't care what she does. They don't care if they got some dude that's buying her dinners throughout the week that texts her every morning, "Good morning, beautiful." The dirtballs and scumbags aren't doing that. Team Dirtball only cares about Team Dirtball. And when she needs knocked off, look, he'll step up to the plate and go over there and knock her off. But he ain't trying to buy her dinners. He's not trying to get emotionally invested in her, which worrying about what she's doing tells me you are emotionally invested in her, and what you should be is emotionally invested in yourself, my dude. We got the phone lines open if any of y'all want to call in.
But I would. I mean, one of the things I did, especially after the split with my ex-wife, was I took some time to be by myself. I took some time to work on, and that was what kind of got me getting into the gym, being a little more regular about it. And at the time, the crazy thing was, I just thought all I had to do was become better looking. But the cool thing was, when you develop physically, things happen mentally too. And so a lot of development happened as well when it came to that. A lot of confidence, evolved from that. So guys, if step one means getting into the gym and making it a regular habit, fine, but make it a regular habit. Don't do it for a couple of days and not do it. Give yourself a set schedule, follow it as closely as possible. If you don't make it one day, you better get there the next day. But for the love of God, make a routine for yourself. If anybody owes it to you, believe it. Believe me when I tell you, she doesn't owe you a thing, but you do. Get there.
Okay, now see, when he says he's like, who has a better car, who has a motorcycle, I don't want a woman that's after materialistic things. That's a big turnoff. That makes me think that he's been watching Red Pill, Manosphere, High Value Man content. Because
I don't, the ones that I've seen, that doesn't sound like that's what they mean by that. What they're talking about is an average out of.
Maybe I'm wrong because, like I always say, I'm not part of the manosphere. But My biggest
No, that's not
problem
at all what
with
they mean by
being
that.
a high value man is it's teaching young men to put all their value on resources. It's teaching them to put their value on what they do, not who they are as a man. So I fundamentally have a problem with a high value man and depending on resources and needing that as a crutch because again team dirtball doesn't need resources to get the woman. He just knows
Right,
how to
because he
find the
holds a
women that
high
are
sexual
sexually
value.
attracted to him. What's that?
Because he holds a high sexual value. These high values aren't all the same kind of value, man. This is what I'm talking about. They're not talking about wealth when they're saying that. They're not talking about just resources. They're talking about those Madden stats and who has, the ones that are high up on all of those different ones. This is what they mean by the high value man. We're talking about well rounded. We're not just talking about wealth. We're not just talking about appearance or performance or athleticism or whatever it happens to be. These are things that, whatever, there's a group of women who value this particular type of man. There's women out there that prefer, and value this particular type of man. And those values that those men are going to have a higher value based on, how much like that type of guy they are. And there is a curve. If you look at it, there is a curve. One of the biggest problems that I have with online dating is the fact that 80% of the women on online dating are only looking for about the top, maybe 20% of men. And if that wasn't
Well,
true, you wouldn't hear
the
the
other
complaints that you hear.
80% of men are boring. The other 80% of men are worried about what women do. The other 80% of men can't give her what she really needs and then give her time to herself without smothering her. There's only you know what? I got to give you a small little piece of credit there because there's a huge difference between being a male and being a man. And not everybody is a man. You're just not cut out for it. You don't know even what it means to be a man. You don't know what it means to have those responsibilities. So my point is I want to get back to what you were saying. You made a point that when you were talking about let's start from the beginning. Let's do that. Tell me what is sexual market value because I don't get that. I get what
Well, this is
sex
more like
appeal is.
well, I don't want to just say sexual market value because remember, we're talking about, I guess, the relational or the relationship market value or the dating market value, I guess we could say,
But what does
because
that have to do with sex appeal?
that's how you get your foot in the door. For one, I mean, you got to have that initial attraction. There's no freaking way you're going to get anywhere without at least that. But
Right. Okay. When you
remember,
say
there
initial
are different.
attraction, I can spark her interest through a conversation. I
Well,
could even turn it up a notch with my physical presence. She's gonna get weak in the knees. Oh,
we all know you're swinging a
it's
warhammer, buddy, but that's not what I'm talking about.
but I'm saying I could go. I could spark an interest in a woman who's not I'm not physically her type. Let's say she likes blonde haired dudes with blue eyes who are clean shaven GI types. But then I come along and I'm so different and I'm so unique and she is so interested in me and I'm so appealing to her and she's willing to do whatever, hey, meet me here for a drink, whatever. Hey, let's go out to do this, whatever case may be. I just don't understand the sexual market value versus that sexual attraction that I'm responsible for creating myself. It's part of the experience of me.
Right, but yeah, to
It's like
remember,
I got my own little sexual playground, and she might get the chance to experience it if she's rocking with me the way I want her to. I just don't
so
know
what you're
what
saying
the
is,
market.
so what you're saying is that if you build the value the way you are saying that you would be building value, she would see value and view you as a valuable guy to get with, huh? That's my
I
point.
think she would see me as I think I don't want to say her best option because she doesn't decide if she has that
Her
option
best
for
option in
sex or
what? A
not. Women
market?
are not the gatekeepers of sex. Hold on, let me back up a second. Women are not the gatekeepers of sex. It's not up to her if we smash or not. It's up to me if we smash or not. I can't smash that woman if I'm not hard, dog. So it with the I just don't like the way that comes across as. And the bigger question is, I just don't get sexual market value at all when it's on me to not only create that attraction, but see if she's open to my seduction. You got
What
it. You
you're
got to
describing
understand
is
that too.
what you're describing is you displaying the value that she needs to see. You're correct.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay. Good. So back to the
That's all I
high
mean by the
value
value
man
part.
thing.
You
Okay.
don't
So the
sell
value
somebody unless
part.
you build value.
So when you're saying value, why do most men, not just young men, but why do most men think resources? Because you got to understand, I need you to
Well,
understand something. Women say they
when we're
want
young, we're
men to provide for them, right? We get a lot of women to say they want a man that provides. But I don't understand why a lot of these men automatically think resources. Why aren't they
right.
providing that woman with some knowledge? I provide women with knowledge, dog. The ones I really like, I'll provide with some orgasms too. But I don't understand providing resources to a woman, you know.
Well, yeah, I
So
mean, that's everything from the most extreme sugar daddy right down to the poor college guy who just spent his last $2 to watch her drive off. I mean, it definitely could go. It happens at all levels. Um,
all
yeah,
right,
I
well,
mean,
back to our question here, because you and I can debate different manosphere shit for half the night. I would really like him to take something away from the show tonight
yeah,
and take some advice to move forward on how to make his situation a little better. So it almost sounds like he has a certain woman he's dealing with, or the other option is that this keeps happening to him multiple times. So if this type of behavior is happening multiple times, then he doesn't know how to find the women that are open to his seduction or not. So I,
and
I think he needs to start with,
I think a good dose of.
I would say,
I would
I
say it's
would
the
say
very
he
thing
needs
that
to meet more women.
yeah, and I would also
I
say it
think
was
he
the very
needs to
thing that I
approach
told you
more
years
women.
ago. It was the very thing I told you years ago. Don't listen. Don't listen to this. Watch this. Keep an eye on her actions. Bottom line, her actions. Ask yourself: does someone who is interested in someone do this, or do they do that? I mean, it's that
But
simple.
see, I don't care. I don't care what she does. Like I care what. Okay, I care what I want to do, and I'm judging to see how she reacts on that, because the way she
Because
reacts
her
to stuff
actions will
tells me a
tell you
lot.
everything. That's what I'm saying. That's part of that.
Okay. So I think the biggest thing is he needs to forget about the dirtballs and scumbags, because look, team scumbag is going to win sometimes, and you just need to accept that. And
Yeah,
why
I
don't
mean,
you worry more about what you're doing? And as far as it comes to not finding women who are materialistic, you need some ground rules for that. So if you're dating a woman and when you're on one of the first, let's say 3 dates, and she asks you what you do, that's probably a red flag that I wouldn't ignore. I mean, if you're that worried about women that only want materialistic things, when a woman starts asking you what you do for a living, then you need to get rid of her, because what you do, my dude, has nothing to do with how compatible you are with that woman. The compatibility and your job are two separate things. So if you're worried about materialistic women, I would get rid of women who ask you what you do. I would get rid of women who ask you for any kind of help at all, not just in the first 30 days. And I would not, my,
but that
my
should be a
last piece
boundary.
of advice
Yeah.
for you would be to not fuck with broke bitches, dog. Meet some women who got some dough of their own, who don't care if you have dough or not. They don't want you for that. And when you start moving a little bit different, and you start dealing with them on your terms, and you learn how to take the power away from them, or as some people like to say, the power out of the pussy, and you get to the point in your life where pussy doesn't move you and you're not making moves for that, it's gonna be a whole new you, first of all. And okay, I've heard it described for as by Steve the Dean at themanmindset.com as an unrecognizable version of yourself. You're going to be a whole new person
It does
when
happen, by
you
the way.
outgrow that. So once you outgrow that, you're certainly not going to be worried about what women do. And when they want to date dirtballs and scumbags, you're just going to get rid of them and move on and find some woman who's into you. Because I promise you, once you have some standards for yourself, once you know how to establish boundaries, once you stop chasing that cat and you'll get rid of them, you'll find the women that really are messing with you, that really do like you, that generally want to be with you, that enjoy your company, that enjoy your time, that don't want anything from you, that but your time, and they're willing to go through great lengths to get it. Whether that is acquiescing to your request of her, hey, send me a photo, hey, meet me here, or you get on top level mat game like Johnny Dumbbell, you'll have women buying you jerseys with your last name on the back of
Oh
it,
God,
which,
she
by the
was
way,
nuts.
is the only jersey that any of you men should be wearing. I don't understand how you walk around with another man's name on your back. I just don't
And
get it,
I got
man.
other jerseys
But
too, though. Yeah, no, I got other jerseys, man. I love them.
so
I
that
mean,
that would be
but
my take for you
I also have bar
to do.
T-shirts and bars I've never drank in, though. So
I mean, that'd be my little advice to this guy is to establish some boundaries with the women that you're just meeting. You understand that what you're going through is going to be a selection process, and you need to firmly establish your values and what you want, and don't make exceptions for them. Don't make exceptions because she's pretty. Don't make exceptions because she's got a fat little booty on her. Don't make
don't even make
exceptions.
exceptions because she's crying.
Exactly. Because once you start doing that and she knows those tears can move you, or she knows that pussy can move you, you're giving away your power. You
Mhm.
really are. You're giving away the upper hand because you need to be able to walk away from her at any time. Like I like to say, how Thanos Infinity Gauntlet snap, they're gone. Just snap them out of existence, my dude, if they're not trying to do exactly what you want to do, and find one that will. What do you say, Johnny?
Yeah, and building on that, the only way that's really going to be able to truly happen for you, man, is you're going to have to be willing to work on yourself first. For a while, I would even maybe advise you to take a month, maybe 6 weeks, something like that. Don't even think about dating. Don't even try it. I want you to take that time to establish a routine, not just your job. You already have a schedule there. I want you to start a routine of maybe going to the gym or at least going for a run or something. I want you to come up with something that's uniquely yours that is meant to better you. The more fun, the better. But look, you got to work at it. Um, in that time, you're going to learn to respect yourself. In that time, you're going to learn to like yourself. No one is going to like a person who doesn't even like themselves. Because, I mean, think about that. If you find out there's a person that doesn't like themselves, are you going to try to like them? No, hell no. They don't like themselves. They must know. They must have a good reason, right? So remember, you don't people who don't necessarily. It's not that you dislike yourself. Maybe you just don't like yourself enough, and you've got to be able to build yourself up to build yourself to something that you've wanted to become, no matter what that is. Maybe it's not at the gym. Maybe it's some kind of skill you want to develop. But work on you. Make that your number one priority. When people in general and women specifically see that, that is going to create that attraction because now there is something about you. And not only is there something about you, but that's not going to put them at the center of your universe. And that's going to be a good thing because they're still going to want to be a part of it.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps it up for tonight. I said everything I needed to say to this guy. I mean, I would like to ask him a little more questions. I maybe have the opportunity to have him call in, but
Do we get any more
don't look like we're
comments?
going to get that tonight because nope, Nothing
Okay.
else, no calls. So let's go ahead and wrap this up. And I will see you
All right, brother.
Monday night. We're going to be back. And I think we're going to do how you present yourself matters. And hey, Johnny Dumbbell, thanks for rocking with me, man. As always, I
Absolutely, man.
appreciate you and salute. Hey, like the stream, go to Johnny Dumbbell's YouTube and hit that subscribe button. Show us some love. We out.